I'm in love. So, did you guys ever do like practice martial arts or anything? Did you?
I did when I was like 24 because there was this guy who came into my restaurant and I just liked the cut of his jib, you know. I liked how he walked around. I'm like, hey, why are you so cool? He's like, because I practice martial arts. And I went and I did it for like a month.
Yeah.
And I became the coolest guy in that school, in that dojo. Which is really hard in the valley.
But never really because of Buffy.
No.
And
No, I don't know if you ever watched the show, but my character did not know how to fight. Yeah, you never saw a lot of that from Xander, you know?
Or maybe, you know, you kind of wanted to, you know, learn a little bit.
No, I mean, I did, and then I broke my elbow doing some stupid move in a back alley. It's dumb. So, I mean, but I put in my time with the bag. Did a lot of stretching.
Hello. Claire, did you find you got all your inner bitch out?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was, everybody's like, what was the best part about playing Claire? Well, it's the fact that you could let go of all the social conditioning. You could say what, you know, what in real life you never would be allowed to say. I mean, kind of like the fighting aspect, too. It's like, we'd never go around, like, you know, fist fighting in real life. Well, some of us wouldn't. Meaning I wouldn't. But that was, yeah, that was a great part of playing a character.
And what were your favorite, for all of you, what was your favorite and least favorite moment? Not necessarily episode, but your favorite moment during this show?
Well, my least favorite was when my strap on my dress broke and my boob fell out in front of everyone. That's everyone else's favorite, though. Yeah, but I think that was everyone else's favorite.
I don't know. I don't know what my favorite was. I think maybe you had something in your eye. Sticking my finger in the guy's eye, probably.
I like that one too. Yeah.
My favorite moment? Well, there's so many moments that were favorites.
One.
I think probably doing the musical. You know, because it could have failed miserably, but it was just so much. It was just a special time in my life, and I just felt. I don't know. I just really took to it like a duck to water, you know, like white on rice, like steak on shit.
I don't know, in retrospect, I guess, and like Dan Seymour had the scene where he had to dance, which is always like the worst thing to have to do because they don't actually play the music. So you're just dancing to nothing.
I really enjoyed our slow motion fight too.
Yeah,
I knew that was going to
be a classic.
I knew that was going to be awesome.
Dancing with Andy was making me laugh so hard because it was so embarrassing what we had to do. So I think that was one of my highlights.
Thank you.
Mercedes, did you, when you got sired in Buffy, did you know you were going to be on Angel?
No. But everything was pretty much a surprise from week to week on the show. I generally just read the end of the script to make sure I didn't die, and then be excited that I didn't die, and then from that point on I didn't really care what happened in that week, and then next week the same thing would happen. So I never really knew what was going to happen. But I think, really lucky with what happened to my character and what they chose to do with me.
Thank you.
Hello. Had any of you guys seen like the original Buffy movie before you did the show?
I saw it in the theater.
Me too.
I had.
I'm jealous. I was like 1 when it came out.
Jealousy runs.
Oh.
Yeah, that jealousy works both ways. Yeah. That's nice to be one.
My second question is, if you could have changed anything for your characters on the show, like if you could like made them go a different way or like have like different relationships. I mean, I don't think anyone would want to not be Harmony dating Spike.
Right.
You know, what would you have done differently? Just like what would you have wanted your character?
Wait, you guys dated on the show?
I would have lived.
I would have loved for you to live.
Right to Joss.
Yeah, that ship has sailed.
I remember when we did our scenes, like at the end, I was like seeing, because you were basically like the first big bad.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, this show might be kind of, you look freaky, dude. How long did that take to put on?
5 hours at the beginning of the season, but they had it down to 3.5 by the end of the season.
Your fruit punch mouth?
Yeah, punch bowl mouth. They painted they didn't know what colors they wanted it to be at the beginning of the season. That's why it took so long, because they put the foam on and then painted on.
Paint the whole thing, yeah.
Right.
And you can, if you watch the whole season, bang, 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 you can see the colors kind of change. And they arrived at that punch bowl mouth. It's still about an hour and a half to take off every day.
That was the worst, because you worked all day and you just wanted to get home and
Yeah,
go,
just
and then
rip it
like,
off.
nope, sit down, you got an hour and a half.
They tell me that when Rene Aubergenois did Deep Space Nine, and he had the whole thing, he just came up and rip it off. But that,
I used to do that
Those
for
days are
my
done.
movies.
Because they'll take your skin with you. Won't it?
yeah,
I used to do
it
it.
would have mine. My skin is still messed up 10 years later.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Did it really affect it?
Yeah, it changed. I've got these bumps here that
Oh, really?
are
Do they
direct
pop?
result of, huh?
Do they pop?
No, they don't. They're little pieces of bone. They're
What?
yeah,
Are you serious?
yeah.
God, this is worse than Vietnam.
I've tried Agent Orange rubbing it in.
Thank you.
My question is for the master.
Vader.
I'm curious as an actor, when you're playing a villain, is it more difficult to make the entrance or to die, and why?
Wow, it's more difficult to make the entrance.
As a villain.
As a
you
villain.
have to be so evil right away.
No, it's great. No, it's great to be evil. Because I mean, as Claire said about getting your pitch out, it's we all have that stuff running around in us, don't we? These sort of evil impulses, and because we're socially conditioned, we can't do things or say things. And when you play the bad guy, especially the way the master was, and you just get to love it. I mean, there's no shame in being evil. It's just, it's great. And so, yeah, so living is much better than dying. I really didn't like dying. I was when Joss hired me, I said, so what's the arc on this? Because as Mercedes said, you only know one episode at a time. So I said, is there an arc for this character through the season? And he said, yes, the great thing is in the end, the last episode, you kill Buffy. And I said, great, does that mean the second season will be Master the Buffy Slayer? He said, we'll see. And so, you know, I got the the last episode and read it, and I got to kill her and dump her in the mud puddle and say, by the way, I like your dress. And then, you know, he made the huge mistake, I think, of having her resurrected by him and come back and kill me. Because after the first season, it was all right.
And also, when you die, the checks stop coming.
Yeah, well, that was the hardest part. Except, you know, the great thing about being on a show that you guys maintained and carried on is that the checks actually don't stop coming. They've stopped now. So
Yeah.
just put them right here.
Did we ever use like flashbacks of the master, like in different seasons?
No, well, they did one time, and I wasn't available because I was doing a play, so they got somebody else and they slapped the foam on him.
I think I remember that.
It was just a little spin thing.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that.
Yeah.
One.
But I came back for The Wish in the third season,
Yeah.
and a little bit. I was supposed to come back for a whole episode in the seventh season, but I was doing a play and was not
That would have been
available.
great because our seventh season, we needed help that seventh season.
It's hard to finish one off.
Especially when you know it's done. I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
the whole season. I was like sad and mourning, you know, and it was like, and it just becomes such a clusterfuck. There were so many characters on the show at that point.
Yeah.
That you just wanted to see the faces that you actually recognized, you know. From the
Right.
beginning.
Right.
So I wish you would have come back.
Thanks. Would have been good closure. I could come back. Again, talk
Maybe
to
we can do a
Josh.
reenactment in our rooms.
Have you got any Robitussin left?
You have the rubber Hudson, dude.
Oh,
I got the rubber Hudson.
I forgot.
I don't want to interrupt, just keep going.
Yeah, no.
This is great.
What's my line in one of those episodes? Ah, the feeble banter part of the fight.
Yeah.
A lot of people in this room were you know, in addition to being Buffy and Angel fans, were Joss fans because he's just, you know, such a creative genius. And I was just wondering if each of you can maybe just tell us a story about, you know, a talk with Joss, or just give us some insight, I guess, because we'll never get to meet him. Right? He never comes to Toronto, so just give us some insight into Joss Whedon. Thanks. All of you.